Good afternoon, ladies, and it's just a little past 5 o'clock. This is Devorah Yaffa speaking to you live from Mariamos, Gush Etzion, overlooking the Dead Sea, and welcome. And this is now, I believe, class number 7 in our Lights of Emunah series. We had a couple-week break, so I missed you, ladies. Did everyone have a Emunah Novado Hanukkah? Was it, yeah?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Yehudis, yes. Are you up to sharing with us? You said you had an Emunah Novado breakthrough.
Yeah,
if you'd
if
like to share
you'd like.
with the group, I'd love
you want to do it later
share
or now?
with us. Yeah, now would be great if you're up to it.
Okay. Well, it had to do with my husband and his current illnesses. He has MS, multiple sclerosis, and kidney failure. And I'm learning about what it takes to deal with chronic illness. And the pattern, I'm introducing this because it will explain what happened. I see what happens is every time the body goes down a level in one of these progressive diseases, it's very, very hard for the sick person to accept that. And we had reached the point where I really felt I need to get help. And I knew that was going to be very difficult for him to accept. And it was causing tremendous tension in me, just tremendous tension to think of bringing it up and how hurt he'd be and how he would say we don't need it. And it was, and there were lots of very difficult things had happened in caring for him before I reached this point. And I was just beside myself. I was, one of the things that was really bothering me was, of course, I'm very heartbroken about the situation, but I was also having a lot of anger that when certain things happened that I felt didn't have to happen, if he would be more accepting of his limits, and they fell on me and caused me tremendous difficulty, I was having just flashes of anger. I wasn't necessarily expressing them, but I didn't like even feeling that. And I was trying everything I know from psychology and from our, Devorah and from other Devorahs I've been in, and nothing seemed to be working. So after one particularly difficult evening, the next morning I did my preparation, which included just relaxing myself and then listening to the song Bilvavi and Yudit Nefesh, and then really reading the Nefesh HaChaim. It was the first time I read in Hebrew, actually, which was interesting, and really thinking about it and saying, yes, Hashem, I know this is about me. It's not about him. I know, but I don't know what to do, and I can't help myself. And I started just really, sobbing and saying, Hashem, please, 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 please help me with this. And it just like, it was like this clarity came, yes, this is really about me and what I have to do and how I have to accept this. And this really is from you, Hashem, and you really love me. And it was like a total change within me. And
wow. And
after that, when I spoke to him, it was like a whole different outcome. And he he just calmly said, I'll accept the help if you need it, and because that was how I presented it to him. And it was so striking. It was so absolutely wonderful and beautiful. It was such an absolute crystal clarity that, yes, this is between me and Hashem and no one else. And
wow.
I would like to say it's a totally, happy ending, but I do find I have to repeat that. And, other things come up, and I do have to work on it again. But it really was very dramatic and very wonderful.
Wow, that's powerful. Beautiful.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Wow, beautiful. Oh, that's inspiring.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Wow. Anyone else have a Hanukkah miracle, Emunah Novado? Taylor, you have anything? Nadia?
Well, the first time I actually sat in front of the candles, and it was really amazing. And my kids were kind of like chuckling each night, like, Papa, what is Mommy doing? Like, and then eventually, like after a few days, I'm like, why don't I explain it to them? And I did, and it actually made it run smoother. Like they got it. Yeah, it was amazing, really amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you'll see a progression in that. The first year I did it, my kids thought I was absolutely crazy. Second year, by like the third or fourth year of doing it, like now, my kids come and they sit in front of the candles, and it's a gradual process. But the more they see us being real, the more it impacts them, 100%.
Yes, I see that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Nadia, have you any more Enod Milvado dreams?
Well, I heard in the last class that you were asking me to share it, so if you want me to, I can share it quickly.
You did do it the last? Did you share it at the end? You did share it at the end of the last class.
Did
I?
Right? Okay, fine. Oh, was that last class?
Fine, you did. Yeah, you did. Did you ladies hear Nadia's dream about the tornado and the beach?
Yeah.
That's intense. I was in Netanya over Shabbos and went to the ocean. I thought of you. Oh, this tornado is going to come and swallow me up now. Anyway, beautiful. Okay, fantastic. So I want to actually pick up with the Nefesh HaChaim, which is where we left off last week, because I went through it very quickly, but I want to just hone us in on one particular pasuk. I think I did scan it for you again, actually. So if you do have the Nefesh HaChaim Hebrew, I'm just reading from the very end of it, which is the last paragraph that starts with the Emetzu Inyan Gadol Segula Nifla, right? That this is a great Inyan and a wonderful Segula. Did I just get cut off, or did someone have to hang up? You ladies still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so go to the bottom of that paragraph where it says, hold on a second. Starting with the next paragraph where it says Ki Hashem. I'm just going to read it quickly. Ki Hashem hu Elokim l'chlau Shem Elokim b'Shem Yud-Ke Vav-Ke v'chulei כשהאדם ידע שהכל אחד ולא ישים פירוד אפילו הסטרא אחרא יסתלק מן העולם. I'll translate that, and then I want to just spend a few minutes discussing it, because this inyan and this whole concept that the Nefesh HaChaim is explaining for us here, this I would venture to say is the ikar of.
Hello?
Hello?
I think she got knocked off.
Yeah.
I'm back now.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Can someone call her? Her phone handy? Hello?
I only have one phone.
Yeah,
Should I hang up and call her?
I'll get my cell phone. Hold on.
I'm back.
You're back.
Ladies hear me?
Okay. I was just calling you. Yeah. Okay.
That was crazy. You just speak about trying to get rid of the Sitra Achra in the world, and he nabs you.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Okay, I am hearing an echo. Is anyone else hearing an echo?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. I don't want to do a group mute. Who else popped on the call? Gutierrez, are you there?
I'm here from the beginning.
Ah, very nice. Gutierrez from Montreal. Okay. Someone who just came on.
Maybe everybody can mute themselves.
Yeah.
So you know what? Everyone do a *6 except for you, Yehudis. So I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
No, just mute on the phone.
Right. Do a *6. Okay. That's good. Yehudis, you still hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
I still hear an echo, though. That's not good. Okay, let's try an experiment. I'm sorry to have this technical difficulty, but I'm going to do a *5. And then Yehudis, try doing a *6. And if you can't unmute yourself, then I'll call back in, okay?
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, now let me see if I hear an echo. Okay, the echo is gone. Okay, let's see. Yehudis, unmute yourself. Do a *6.
Hello?
Okay, I hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay, that seemed to take care of it. Okay.
Yeah, there's no echo, right?
Yeah, the echo, I don't hear it. Okay, great.
Good.
I'm not trying to play favoritism, but this Yehudis was having trouble unmuting herself. But if anyone else wants to come on or ask a question or at any point engage the discussion, please do a *6 and you can unmute yourself. Okay, but I think we got rid of the echo. Okie doke. See, that Sitra Acha is really tricky. Okay, so let me read this again, and then we're going to translate it, and we're going to discuss why this is so ikar. So I'm reading at the bottom of the Nefesh HaChaim in Hebrew, the very last paragraph that I scanned for you, where it says, Ki Hashem hu Elokim ulechlao Shem Elokim b'Shem Yud-Ke Vav-Ke v'chulei. Okay, and then he continues, K'sheha'adam yada shahakol echad v'lo yasim pirud. Right, that's the sentence, the phrase I really want to focus on. So underline that. V'lo yasim pirud. Afilu hasitra achra yistalek mina olam. We're going to nail you, Mr. Sitra Achra. You can try to disconnect us, but we are going to Eino Novado you away. So what does that mean? That means that when a person knows that everything is one, right? Hakol echad v'lo yasim pirud, and he doesn't make any separation, right? It's just even this phone call. Everything that's going on, every technical glitch, it's all coming from Hashem. So we can either get flustered or get frustrated or, become all discombobulated by the situation, or we can lo yasim pirud and realize, Eino Novado, this is all coming from Hashem. Again, what does it mean, lo yasim pirud? Do not make any separation. And that perspective, with that perspective, afilu hasitra achra yistalek min ha'olam. This is how we nail the Yetzer Hara. So I want to focus us in for just a couple minutes. We we started off the class. I didn't know you were on Gittu, but if you have an Eino Novado experience to share with us, please feel free. You can do a *6, and I'm happy to hear you share any experience you want to share with us. We started that. I didn't know you were on, but I would love to hear from you. But we heard from Dr. Yehudis and from Bela, and just this whole inyan of really focusing and plugging in to this perspective. So what does it mean, lo yasim pirud? So whenever I make any kind of a assertion that I am a separate, right? Pirud means separation. So if I think I am a separate being, if I think I have any intrinsic, independent existence whatsoever, right? That's what feeds the Sitra Achra. Yeah, in other words, when I'm in a state of, we'll call it yeshus, right, which in Hebrew means ego. When I'm in an ego flaring yeshus place, meaning how does that translate? It translates into I am in control, or this is not going my way, or any of the myriad of statements, right, that pulse through my feeling of ego and my need to assert myself, right? Whenever I'm in that state, right, I'm creating pirud. I'm creating a separation between me and Hashem. Now, I want to make a distinction here, and we're going to talk about this more when we get more involved with the ego and the Yetzer Hara of the ego. So I'm not going to go into it too much right now, but when I say we don't want to inflame our ego, so to speak, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't be having a healthy self-esteem. It doesn't mean that I'm not feeling good about myself. It means that I'm completely conscious of the fact that whatever whoever I am, whatever existence I have, it's entirely because Hashem is flowing through me. And whenever I think that I am in control and I am the one, so to speak, empowering me, that's called Pilud. Okay, is that clear? Any questions on that, making that distinction? You still with me?
No questions.
Okay. So what we want to really hone in on is I don't want to create any separation. And this concept is so deep, it's hard for me to even put it into words. You know, my teacher, Rabbi Cable, we've been learning this idea in the Nefesh HaChaim of Einav Novado. We've been learning it since the summer, actually. We've been going through this, like the Iyun, for 6 months. So to try to give it over in like 2-3 classes is quite an arduous task. But what he explained to us, and I actually asked his permission, and I'm going to send out to you ladies the class that we had with him a couple weeks ago, where he explained so beautifully how can we live in this Einod Novado space? Because if you really, really think about it, if you really focus on what this means, Einod Novado, right, and when you get to the level of Einod Novado Mamish, right, the Tanya says that the analogy is we are like to Hashem, the way the whole universe is to Hashem is the way like a thought is to me, right? In other words, what is a thought to a human being? A thought is like completely nebulous and it's totally fleeting and it doesn't have any existence in any intrinsic anything. And if I stop thinking about something, right, then what, you know, no matter how real that image or that picture may be in my mind, as soon as I stop concentrating on it and thinking about it, it completely vanishes. Right, so too, the Tanya describes that's the way the whole. If you want to get to the realm of that highest level of Einod Novado, where, so to speak, it's all Hashem and it's only Hashem. We're like a fleeting thought, so to speak, in Hashem's mind, kiviyachol. And if you really go to that place, so what happens? You know, you can really become totally ineffective and paralyzed and get to a place of like, well, so why bother doing anything at all? I'm just like a puff of smoke. I don't have any reality to me whatsoever, right? Remember when we were talking about what from the Nefesh Shimshon of Pinkus Zatzal, and he was describing the 3 levels of Einod Novado. So that highest level of Einod Novado, which I really skipped over very quickly because the Nefesh HaChaim says, like, you can't, if you spend too much time in that space, like you can go crazy, right? Remember the 4 rabbis who went into the Pardes and only one of them came out. So we have to be very, very careful when we, as Rav Cable describes, you know, we can tap this space, and that there are moments in the day where we can try to focus in on this. He says, you know, when we say Shema Yisrael, right? So the Torah and the mitzvahs have it built in specific times in the day, right, where Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, and I'll let you hear it from Rabbi Cable rather than me trying to paraphrase what he explained, but he really talked us through, like, what does that mean, Echad, and what's the kavanah that we're meant to have, and in those moments we can tap, we can touch the threshold, so to speak, of this Einod, of Novado Mamish, this level of where it's really, really, really all Hashem, right? But then we have to come back. We have to come back into the world. We have to come back into the realm of responsibility, hule v'hule. And the way the Sfarim Kedoshim describe it is this idea of Ratz Shav, right? You run with this idea, and it can make your heart race if you focus on it too much, and then Shav, and then you have to come back, you have to return, we have to be in this world. And this is very, very deep and very, very high, and I'm not even sure if what I'm saying is clear. I'm just kind of allowing Hashem to speak through me. But the way Rav Cable describes it is the whole Torah and all of the mitzvahs is really to bring us in this process of going from yesh to ayin, right? But we have to do it within the physical world. We have to do it within the world of action. He was making a big distinction between, say, Judaism versus like Buddhism and the Eastern religions where they can just sit, all day long and meditate for 20 hours on Enod Novado. I mean, they don't call it Enod Novado, but that's really what they're doing. They're trying to get themselves to this place of just experiencing themselves as nothing and whatever it is they call it, whatever, I don't know what they call the source or if they even have a name, but they're trying to get to this feeling of total bittul, and they'll sit there for hours and hours until they get there. But as Rav Cable described it, like they're not accomplishing anything in the world, and they're not doing anything, and that's totally not Ratzon Hashem that we do that. But what is Ratzon Hashem? Ratzon Hashem is that we use the Torah, and the Torah is very meticulous about how all the mitzvahs and all the actions and how to, he uses the example of how the tefillin are made and how, you have to slaughter the cow in such a way, and you have to take the hide and you have to prepare it for 5 days and and it's very, very specific. And like, if you think about it, like as he says, like who cares about this cow and the hide and all these details? We're just a fleeting thought in Hashem's mind. Like, why are we going through so much detail? And the reason is that Hashem gave us a Torah to walk us through this process gradually, right? From the day we're born, we're full of yeshus. We're full of this feeling of I'm in control, and it's all about me. And when we're very little, it's completely self-absorbed. And only as we mature and we get older and as we become spiritually mature, we realize, it's not only me. It's not even all about me. And we begin to slowly, gradually realize, it's for Hashem. It's all about you, Hashem. It's not about me at all. Yeah, or as Yehuda described so beautifully, she was seeing it. The image was she was getting upset with her husband, and then she refined that even more to realize, that's just as Rabbi Niven calls it, part of the video game. Really, this is about me and Hashem and how I have to work this through. And really, if you were going to take that a step even beyond, it's not even about you and Hashem. You, in terms of you as a separate individual, but it's really about how is Hashem going to flow through me. Right? How can I really remove my ego to the point where I'm just totally allowing Hashem to flow through me? And I'm totally accessing this space of, okay, Hashem, how do you want me to respond in the moment? How do you want me to interact with my husband right now? How do you want to use my kli right now, right, to deal with whatever situation I'm dealing with? And the more we remove ourselves, right, the more Hashem flows through us. And that is an amazing, amazing experience and an amazing feeling of pleasure. And I hope I'm making myself clear. Yes.
That's really what it was like. You said it so beautifully. It's not like a voice came to me and said, Yehudis, do this, But I just went out and let it come. And sometimes I didn't even know what I was going to say. It was
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when you felt that, what did it feel like? Describe that experience, how that felt internally?
It's incredible freedom. It's just like be open and let it come. I don't know. There's a big quality of surrender in it. Like I really don't know, and I'm trusting you, as you say, to pass it through me. It was really quite amazing.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And so what we're going to learn tonight is really how to access this space. And what we'll see is and again, I want you to hear Rav Cable describe it, and he said I could send it out to you, but he describes it so beautifully that the whole purpose of life is to just move along this continuum of being less and less of a yesh, and just allowing for more and more of Hashem to just flow through me, right? And the more we, so to speak, get ourselves and get our ego and get our negias and our biases and all of my need for control and all of that, the more we push that aside and the more we allow for Hashem to work through us, like that's where the pleasure really begins, right? That's when we can really begin to feel empowered, and it's an oneg, right? Or it's a freedom, right? As you said, you did it so beautifully. It is. It's mamish. It's a freedom. So I just said some very, very high ideas, and if it wasn't clear, then Rabbi Cable will make it more clear, and I'm going to send out that share. But I wanted to just speak that out. And again, everything that we're describing and we're discussing is how to get out of this place of pirud, right? How to get. Remember, we spent a long time, a couple weeks, bringing Dovavi and bringing Retzi Meir, bringing the Ramchal, and not the Ramchal, the Rambam, and the beautiful piece he brought us from Guide for the Perplexed, Mar Nevuchim. Just this whole idea of when I'm accessing this space, right? Remember the Rambam said this is the key to Siyata Dishmaya, right? That we saw from the beautiful Tehillim from David Melech, that when I'm plugged into this space, as you described so beautifully, Yehudis, when I'm in that space, so then I'm open, then I'm free to access all of the Siyata Dishmaya running through me. But when I'm in this place of pirud, when I'm making pirud, when I get all tense and constricted inside, and this isn't going the way I want it, and why do I ever get angry? Why do I ever lose my temper? Why do I shout at my children, or God forbid, shout at anybody? Anytime I'm feeling that angst inside of me, it's because I'm feeling pirud. It's because I've cut myself off from this Einod Milvado consciousness, right? This pirud is the opposite of Einod Milvado. And when I do that, so then I block the Siyata Dishmaya, right? I literally close the channel for the Siyata Dishmaya to flow through. And remember what we said we read also from the Nefesh HaChaim, Kashem Shatah Hove'imi, Kach Ani Hove'imach, right? According to the attitude that you have towards me, that's how I will be towards you. Or Hashem Silcha Al Yad Yaminecha, as David Melech says, meaning that Hashem mirrors us. So that if I'm in this state of pirud, if I'm in this place of ego and constriction and anger and frustration, and it's all about me and I'm in control, and why isn't this working out the way I wanted, and just saying these words, I can feel myself just getting all inside. So I want to be in that space, right? But when I get into that place, I cut myself off from the Siyata Dishmaya. The opposite is also true. When I bring myself to this space, and that's really what this whole workshop is going to teach us how to do, when I bring myself to this place of Einod Milvado consciousness, and again, I want to learn how to flick the switch in a moment. When I'm in that space, so now I'm opening, right? I'm opening the channels. I'm opening the circuit, so to speak, to the Siyata Dishmaya. And I want to just bring up one other point, and then we'll move on. Bilvavi, I didn't scan this for you, but I was just reading recently. Bilvavi has a beautiful piece on Bitachon, Rav Schwartz, and he was describing that if I can just paraphrase it briefly, that the real Bitachon, the real trust in Hashem is something that is inside of us. It's so similar to the idea of Das, when we were talking about Das as something that Hashem placed inside of us, right? That it's really there, and we just have to uncover it. So he says, so too with our bitachon. Our bitachon isn't something that we grab a hold of from the outside, but it's really a trust that comes from the inside. And the way he describes it is when you access that place of bitachon inside of you, he said it's that feeling of no opposition, he calls it no opposing forces. Right? That's what it means to be in this place of Einod Milvado, of Das, of Bitachon. It's this feeling of this no opposition. So we're going to discuss this more get to Ratzon and talking about Nisyonos, but really what we're going to come to see is live in my inner world, and the more I learn how to make contact, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, how to make contact with myself on the inside, right? We're going to see that a lot of this opposition that we experience on the outside is going to just melt away, right? Does that make sense? The more I live my life from this internal place, the more we're going to see these opposing forces, right? Or as we just said, lo yasim pirud afilu hasitra acha mistalek mina olam. Right? So that's true in a general sense, and that's also true, as we're going to come to see in a very personal sense as well. Yeah, any questions before I move on?